Hi everybody. On February the 26th, we've got a very powerful solar eclipse at 8 degrees of Pisces. And at the time of this eclipse, we've got the sun and moon, of course in the same sign, it's a new moon, powerful new moon, along with Mercury and Neptune. So a huge amount of activity in Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Pisces is the sign that needs to withdraw, to integrate, to allow everything that's happened just to be. So it's the part of you that is the human being. And at the same time, we've got a really strong aspect between Mars and Uranus in Aries. Now, if ever there was an impatient, angry aspect, it's Mars and Uranus in Aries, who don't want to just be and accept what's happening. They want to force what should happen, very often in a very egotistical way. We've also got Jupiter in Libra opposite this Mars-Uranus conjunction, trying its best to bring about some peace, to talk some sense into irritability. I mean, it's the kind of reaction where people just, they hoot you in a car and you've been stopped for 1 extra second at a traffic light. That's that kind of impatience. And I would be watching for that within yourself. What triggers those emotions within you where you feel as though you've got to just push forwards and maybe push other people over in the process. So we've got this pushing forward element of the first sign Aries, of outwards, me, myself, I, this is what I want to do. And Pisces, which is where this eclipse is, which is all about releasing, relaxing, surrendering, being compassionate, feeling everything that's happening, being ready to feel everything. Very often when I'm getting, upset about something, what's that about? Often it's to do with time. So when I've got a time constraint, it's like, oh God, it's taking so long and I've got to be at an appointment. Pisces operates outside of time. So you may want to find ways in which, or times of your life, where you are outside of time. Meditation, yoga, nature, being engrossed in something, a good book, even a movie. Pisces certainly rules movies and those kinds of things. These are all good things to really do, to take yourself off this urgency. This is the urgency. This is people revolting and saying, you mustn't do these things, you can't do these things. Instead of with Pisces going within. And as I change myself and I become softer through this Piscean energy, and I soften the anger of the world through my own angers and upsets, I release those. Then you have a much bigger impact on the external world. Much, much bigger. So this is really a time, wherever this solar eclipse falls in your chart, is, whichever life area it is where it's important to be guided rather than to push your way through. Maybe it's in your financial area. Maybe it's time to listen to some messages. Maybe you're getting some information that's telling you, hey, follow that writing. Follow the writing. You love the writing. Why don't you do a little more of it? Maybe the writing could lead to some kind of an income in the future because you enjoy it so much. The other thing to remember about Pisces is it's all to do with boundaries. And Pisces knows no boundaries. Think of the ocean, the fish. Fish don't put themselves, unless we put them in aquariums, they don't put themselves in little compartments, they're just swimming freely in the sea. how can you swim freely in your life and at the same time make it clear where certain boundaries are important to you? Let me give you a recent example of my own. I was at the osteopath and she was just starting to work on my back, and her phone went, and before I knew it, she had the mobile phone in her hand at the same time that she had her other hand on my body. Well, it was like an electric shock went through me. The energy of that, I mean, it took several days for me actually to recover. And at the time, I wasn't able to even speak it. Yeah, I mean, it was a boundary that was definitely deeply overstepped, but I couldn't speak it out. And it took me another 2 weeks, quite honestly, to build up the courage to say, no, I have to speak it out, because my normal behaviour pattern would have been to withdraw and say, I'm never going back to that osteopath ever, even though for the last few months she's helped me greatly. But instead I plucked up courage, and this Mars-Uranus aspect is certainly courageous as long as it's not too aggressive in its stance. And the next time I saw her, I said, look, please would you not answer the telephone during our calls? And she got it immediately. It was like she took the phone outside of the room and it was peaceful, and I got to say what had happened. And I did it in a way that had a gentleness and a firmness, but without being aggressive. So these may be things that you want to look at in your relationships, that these are things, remember, solar eclipses, they can trigger things for 6 months or even more. So these are just areas that I'm seeing that are potentially getting triggered. I think there's a tremendous opportunity for great spiritual advancement, for bringing more light, more aliveness into your life, and for listening to the messages and noticing what your body is wanting. Which way does your body want to move? How does your body want to breathe? I'm constantly trying to awaken more and more so that I'm always in a deep internal dialogue. And if I'm doing that, then what I give in my readings, what I give to you on the videos, has more depth, has more meaning, because I have found a balance within myself. So that's what you're seeking here. You're going to have an opportunity to be able to awaken creativity in new ways. It's a wonderful time for just immersing yourself into something. That's what I see. Once you immerse, it's like when you immerse yourself into a lovely warm bath. Oh, doesn't that feel wonderful? Every bit of you just relaxes, doesn't it? Yeah, you don't notice time or anything except maybe when the water starts to get a little colder. That's what I would be looking for, immersion. You can immerse yourself into a love relationship totally and utterly, and just feel the love and feel the sexuality and the glorious feelings, and allow yourself to be immersed by it, all encompassed. I never quite know what I'm going to say in these videos, so that came out of left field for me too. And I hope that you have a wonderful solar eclipse in Pisces. Here is your painting. I haven't forgotten it this time. I did two actually. This one here. And I did a very big one, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to play here, but there it is. That's a really big one, so I'm not sure how much of it shows, but that was another one that was inspired by this solar eclipse energy and the beauty of it and what we can bring. Thanks very much for listening, for watching. I love your feedback. Thank you.